Bronze Metal Moms, the podcast where we aren't going for gold, we're going for bronze on the daily. I'm Amy.
And I'm Amanda, and we are here to remind you that you don't have to be perfect to show up, survive, and even thrive in motherhood.
Welcome back to Bronze Metal Moms, the podcast for women who are tired of chasing perfection and just want to do life a little bit more their way. I'm Amy Welch.
And I'm Amanda Grubb, and today we're diving into one of Amy's favorite topics, travel. We've got Heather Honaker with us, travel agent extraordinaire, and she's here to help us plan better vacations, avoid the chaos, and maybe stop pretending we can do it all ourselves. Heather, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yay, welcome. I am so excited about today's episode because, as our listeners know, well, one, I have a travel tattoo, and I just got back from Jamaica. Yeah, I'm committed. Travel is my love language. It's like the sixth love language. But I just got back from Jamaica, and I thought, what better topic than to keep chatting about travel? Heather is actually my personal travel agent. She planned my girls' trip to Mexico. We are going to start having her work on a trip to Iceland. But Heather, before we get into any of that, I think a lot of people don't even realize it's still a thing. So tell us how you got started as a travel agent.
Yeah, so I actually have a really good friend who that I went to college with, and she's a travel agent. And when it was my husband and I's 20th wedding anniversary, so this would have been back in 18, we were like, what do we want to do for our 20th anniversary? So we got in touch with her. I had no idea what to do. Got in touch with her. We ended up just doing Disney without the kids, which was kind of fun because they got really mad at us because we went without them. They were young enough then that they were disappointed. But anyway, we ended up just doing Disney without the kids. And my friend Jessica booked it all for us, took care of literally everything, like made our dining reservations, did all of our fast passes when Disney used to have fast passes. She did all of it. And after I realized how easy that was, I was like, oh my gosh. And we used her again for a trip the next year. And then I actually lost my job. I got laid off unexpectedly. And I was like, I think I would like to do that. So she and I had a whole bunch of conversations and just decided it was something I would want to do. And for a while there, I thought the same thing. Like travel agents, they're not even around. I remember we used one for our honeymoon, and it was a brick and mortar store. We walked in.
Yeah, it's really the only thing you could do is have.
Yeah, we walked in, sat down, and talked to this older lady who booked us on a trip to Cancun through Apple Vacations. I still have the paperwork. It was through Apple Vacations.
That's awesome.
And that's what I was thinking in my head, like, oh, people don't use travel agents. But then when I realized how easy it was, I was like, people need to see that this is still a thing. And then it wasn't until 2020 during COVID when people realized, oh, wait, they can help me with, because there were so many cancellations.
Right.
Everything was closing down. The whole world was shut down. And when you had to call and cancel a reservation, you would sit on hold for 6 to 8 hours.
Oh.
And people realized, like, this is where I need somebody to come in and help me. And I think since then, at least for me, it has grown a lot since then because people realize that we do a lot more than just book your trip and then forget about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. It's not just clicking on a trip.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that you say this. I have this very short, funny story. It's funny that you brought up Disney because my sister is super organized and she plans all the travel. She does all the things. She planned our family trip to Disney. We did not miss a beat. We knew where we were having dinner. We got on all the rides. Everything was done. We experienced all of Disney. It was magic because she had this all planned out. 3 months later, I earned a free trip to Disney and did no planning. And it was not with family. It was with friends even. So it could have been a whole different experience, but I didn't do anything. I didn't ask anyone for help. I didn't plan anything. We went to Disney for a day and went on one ride.
Fail.
And then ended up like even going to like a bar for dinner that also served food. It was a mess that we didn't experience all the stuff because
Yeah.
I just didn't plan anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is where this would have come in handy. But I do think like this, being a travel agent and planning trips and stuff like that sounds like a dream job. But I could also see how there would be like a stress factor to it. Like,
Yeah. For
like
sure.
how do you how'd you fall in love with travel planning specifically, but then like the stress factor of it as well?
So really, to be honest, I have always loved to travel. I have a picture of myself. I don't know if you might be able to see it. Can you see this little suitcase back here behind me with
Oh, yeah.
cake on it? So I have a picture of myself when I was 6. I got that suitcase for Christmas, and I'm standing in front of the Christmas tree holding it. And my aunt found this picture and she gave it to me. It's an old Polaroid, and it's when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, travel has always been a thing that I've loved. Now, we didn't travel a whole lot when I was growing up.
Mhm.
Like, we went to my grandparents in Tennessee. We would go on vacation every summer, but we weren't like huge travelers. We didn't travel all over the place. But I've always wanted to experience other places. And I think my first time ever really going on a real trip, I guess, was when I was a junior or senior in high school. Our Spanish teacher took us to Cancun. And that, I think, is when I was like, oh, like I need to get out and I need to see more. And so
There's a big world out there.
Travel. But then when it comes to like the planning and booking for other people, I love when someone comes to me and they're like, we want to go to this destination. And it's something that I've never been there. I've never planned a trip there. And I get to go in and I get to do all the research, learn about that destination. And then like my bucket list is already like 200 pages long of places I want to go. But every time somebody comes to me with one of those, I just add it to the list.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm never going to make it all the places I want to go. But I think the reason I love my job so much is once I get that trip planned for that family or that couple that's going on their honeymoon or people that are celebrating their 25th or 50th anniversary or whatever it is, watching them make those memories with their family is what makes me love this job so much. It's not
I love that.
It's not the money that I get. It's not the commission that I get paid. It's just watching them make those memories.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and it's funny too because we also did not travel a lot growing up. Heather and I we grew up in the same hometown. We went to Myrtle Beach every year, and then we may have taken we went like camping or something, but that was it. So we also didn't do a lot of travel growing up. And a lot of people now that I travel so often, I mean, there are years where I'm on a plane at least once, if not twice a month. And people assume because I love to travel, they're always like, you should be a travel agent. I'm like, no. No, I will use a travel agent, but I don't think people understand that. I want to clear up some myths because I think nowadays, especially with everything online, everything at our fingertips, people think they can just book their trips online and it's easy and they'll save money. So let's clear up the myth, though. The first one is that travel agents are more expensive.
Yeah. So I will say there are some that do charge a planning fee. And they do. And, that's up to them.
Yeah.
I understand you have to respect your time, and clients need to respect our time. It takes time to research trips. It takes time to put them together, even if it's something as easy like I was talking about Disney, which is not my biggest, that's not my biggest book right there is Disney. But I can book Disney in my sleep, basically.
Right.
But it still takes time to put it together. And so some agents do charge fees for that. I personally don't, because the commission is already built into the trip. So whether you are booking a Hilton hotel for a weekend away, the price you see on Hilton's website is the same price that I'm going to give you. The commission is built in. So the difference is if you book it on your own, Hilton, the big corporation, keeps that piece. If you allow your travel agent to book it, that comes out and your travel agent small business gets that commission portion. So you're basically supporting a small business.
Yeah, we're
So whether it's a Hilton hotel, an all-inclusive, a cruise, Disney, whatever it is, you're paying for a travel agent whether you use one or not.
Oh, that's good to know. I will say one thing, because I have used before Heather and I met as a travel agent client, I have a Disney planner that planned all my trips. She does not do a planning fee. However, she goes above and beyond with some specific, what I call like VIP concierge level planning that is beyond just the basic trip. And I've told her before, you should charge like a fee for that. So if there is, because sometimes like our girls' trip to Mexico, I travel with 2 girls. We like to travel bougie. So like if we're asking Heather to do a little bit above and beyond, we will pay for a little VIP level concierge fee on top of that. But like you said, in general, there's no additional fee typically to use any.
Right.
So.
Well, I feel like that's such an interesting misconception because, like 100%, I would be thinking like, no, I'm not getting a travel agent. I cannot afford that. Right. But when the price is the same, and I remember, so I'm the opposite of y'all. We traveled a ton growing up.
That's right.
I
was gonna say, that's right. Your mom.
Yeah, my mom retired from the airlines, and so we flew for free everywhere, and I still remember they had, because through the airlines, they had a travel agent there. And one of the things I think was so cool is the stories I have from traveling to Europe or Asia or wherever we were going. They are very like quintessential stories. Like, Paris, we saw the Eiffel Tower, Rome, we saw the Colosseum. But because we went through the travel agent, we didn't stay in like hotels. Like once in Rome, we stayed in a convent because that was the cool thing to do. And we had this whole other experience that I guarantee I would never Google, can I stay in a convent?
Right.
Right.
That wouldn't happen. And so we had this whole other experience that was so amazing, and we didn't even realize it was available. But because there was a travel agent, they knew that like, no. And we got to see the Pope because of that, because they gave us free tickets. Who doesn't get free tickets to see the Pope when you stay at a convent? But they knew to do all that stuff, and I never known to do that. My mom wouldn't have known to do that.
Yeah, right. Well, so it can save people money. Like you said, we're paying for it whether we realize it or not. But let's also talk about how it saves time and stress when I have you book my trip versus me.
Yeah. So like I just booked a trip for you, Amy, and literally you could have gone on the website and booked that trip right away. Like it didn't take long at all to book it. But if something should happen to come up and you need to change something, or there's an issue or whatever, instead of you calling that resort and sitting on hold and waiting for them to take care of it, that's my job. So if we've already got it booked, then from the time, like I don't book and forget, I book it, and then from the time you book until you travel and come home, I'm there for like any sort of concern or change or question or whatever. And so instead of calling 1-800 Royal Caribbean and getting a different agent every time, who doesn't know your travel plans and your story and all of that, they don't know your family. You've got me, who has already talked to you enough times that I know what you're looking for. Yeah. I can call and I can, fight on your behalf, or I can make the changes you need to make. And then at the same time, if you're planning a trip that it's somewhere you've never been before and you don't even know where you want to go, where you want to stay, where the safe places are in that city, like if you don't know any of that, that's my job, is to take the time and figure all of that out and present you with some options, and then let you kind of go through and ask questions and, make the trip fit what your family is looking for.
Yeah. And I will say this, personally, I've never used a travel agent.
Oh,
hearing you talk right now,
you want to use
me. Test the amount of ridiculous travel mistakes. And like I just said, I traveled growing up. I know my way around an airport. I know what airports look like. I know all the things. I have, as a grown adult, flown into the wrong city. I've also been in Europe with my husband. Thought I booked us a plane ticket home. I didn't. So we just hung out for a while.
Yeah. So in other words, Heather, you have a new client.
I think you're my husband's new favorite person. He'd be like, I cannot travel with this woman anymore. Who flies into the wrong city?
I know.
All right, but
Too
so
funny.
what about, okay, so when we're talking about people thinking that they can do this themselves, let's be honest, like what makes you cringe when someone says, oh, I'll just plan it myself?
So several things, actually. Like,
You're like, they're flying into the wrong
first of all, if I've already worked with them and I've already put a proposal together and I've sent them some options and then they decide to go plan it on their own and book it on their own. One, I have to remember nobody owes me their business, but two, if I've taken the time to put that together,
Oh, yeah.
I basically just did hours of work for free if you go and book it on your own, because I'm not, like, again, I don't charge a fee. And if you go and book it on your own, then I'm not going to get paid by that supplier because I didn't book it. So there's that portion. Selfishly, it's because I basically just did hours of work for free that I could use focusing on another client. Two, I often am like, ooh, I hope they booked a flight that has a long enough layover. Oh, I hope they didn't book that resort because it has the cheapest price and it probably doesn't match what their family's looking for. Like, they're going to get there and they're going to be like, well, I'll never do another all-inclusive again. That resort was horrible, but it's because they just chose the cheapest one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things like I worry about the clients, not because I am angry with them and I worry about what they might pick, but at the same time, I'm like, I hope they pick the right flight. I hope they pick the right resort. I hope, everything falls into what they told me they wanted.
Well, and it's true. Like, I mean, I'm a family of 5. We go bargain bin. Like, we go for the cheapest thing we can possibly find. And just to save money, because there's so many of us. But I will tell you, there's scammers out there that I've booked a plane ticket before that it wasn't actually a plane ticket.
Yeah. Well, that's why you go to Heather. So for our girls' trip to Mexico, I'm either her favorite client or worst client, because I'm like, here's kind of the budget. Here's what we're looking for.
And how many times did we change it?
Oh, and that's the other thing. Listen, guys, because I was traveling with an executive who works for a big oil company here, who also is having senior dog health issues. We had to change our trip 3 times.
I think.
Oh, no.
So guess what, though? It's just an email to Heather. She's the one who has to do all the work with the hotel and if it changed the price and all of that. So that alone is huge. But I also know, Heather, too, just from now following you on social media, on your Instagram, you go to a lot of resorts, too, not for vacation, but for research. So a lot of times you've been to the places.
Right. So, like, for example, I just got back about a month ago. I was in Cancun. And I think I toured 10 resorts within 3 days. Like, I was not on vacation. I had my computer with me. And I was with another agent, and we went to, I think, 4 resorts the first day, 1 resort the second day. We had a day off, and then we did 5 resorts the last day that we were there. And it was exhausting. It was a lot of work, but I got a lot of content, a lot of pictures, got to speak with the sales department, the managers, find out what they have, what can they offer my clients. So that's how, and I can say from visiting those, like, yeah, I have clients this would work for, or no, I don't have clients that I could send here, or whether or not it's one that I would even offer my clients.
Well, and sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know Amanda wants to get into some summer questions, but I sometimes a travel agent can also offer things that you can't find online. Like sometimes you guys have other perks or things.
Right.
Just so, from those relationships that you're.
Yeah, we have relationships, especially the agency I'm with. We're so well known in the industry. We have relationships with so many suppliers. And so, for example, cruise lines, we can a lot of times offer like an onboard credit that you can't see when you book on your own. We can, in an all-inclusive resort, we've got like extra services that they'll provide, to your room or to your party when you book there, if you book through me, that you won't get when you go book on your own or if you book through Expedia. So there's a lot of different things that we can offer as travel agents.
That's so fascinating. And so let's talk about summer travel though. What are your top tips for booking summer travel? And should they be already booking summer travel? Like when do you book summer travel, and what are the best things to do?
They should have already booked summer travel stuff. Yeah, they should have already booked summer travel. Like you should book summer travel like 4 to 6 months in advance.
Really? Wow.
Because by the time, a lot of times people will start booking their spring break, and then when spring break's over, then they'll start looking at summer. But by the time that happens, you've got everybody looking at summer. And so the availability is lower than it would be like if you're thinking June, then start looking at like January, February to at least start planning. So that way you've got more availability out there. The prices are probably better. The closer you get to that travel date, the prices are going to go up because there's not going to be as much availability. So I would say start planning 4 to 6 months in advance. But if you're starting just right now to start looking at summer, like we're 2 months away from summer,
right?
Book as soon as you can, but be smart. So if you're trying to save money, don't book basic economy flights because you can't pick your seats. They will try to sit you next to your kids, but it's not guaranteed.
Nope.
You can't make any changes. You can't cancel it. Like it might look cheaper on paper, but it's a lot more hassle. So it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
And then if you're looking at the summer, try to travel in August because school is starting back up. And so availability is going to be higher because not as many people are going to be traveling because they're getting ready for summer. So like June and July are going to be really busy travel months where August isn't. So if you're just now starting to plan, maybe look at August.
I was gonna say, and this is we're airing this episode in April, and so really, if you haven't already knocked out summer, look at August for that back to school trip, or start thinking about that fall break. If school is a fall break, I will say this is so funny that you say that about August. So my middle child, our oldest son, he has an beginning of August birthday, and it is a crapshoot on whether we will have 20 kids at his birthday party or 0, because it just happens, whatever happens that year, on whether everyone tries to get that last minute trip before school starts or they stay home. So I'm like, you might have a birthday party this year, you might not. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll just go on a trip instead. That's what we do.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if we can make this easy for some of our listeners. Give me some good destinations for families.
Okay. Yes.
Obviously you have Disney and Universal. Like if you're thinking family vacation, it's high on the list. Even if you've been there before, especially if you haven't been there before, it is expensive, but the memories that are made are fantastic. Costa Rica is one of my favorite places to book just because there's so much you can do there. I mean, you can go to the beach if you want. You can go to the jungle. You can zip line. You can, it's just like beach and adventure all at once. So it's also a really popular place that I've been booking lately.
Oh,
and then all-inclusives and cruises are just easy for families because you get there and you really don't have to do anything. Like the cruise line or the all-inclusive takes care of everything for you. So it's just easy.
That's what you need, Amanda. You need to give her your budget. And for your family of 5, you need a cruise.
I'm writing it down.
I see you're taking notes.
See?
I've already decided Roger's having a birthday trip. It's too hot in Texas in August anyway. That poor kid. I'm like, I don't know. Do you want to stand here with the hose? It's so hot.
Adelaide's also an August baby, and like pool parties are out because it's just brutal.
It's too hot for a pool party.
It's too hot.
And then you end up spending like $100. We've dropped over $1,000 sometimes on some of those indoor birthday parties.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at Heather.
Tune in
Heather's
to our
Put that
birthday
$1,000
party,
towards a vacation.
Yeah, Heather's like, that's a cruise, Amanda.
Yeah.
It's like, absolutely not. No.
He's getting a cruise for his birthday. Well, and especially for us because we can go right out of Galveston, so we really don't even have to fly anywhere.
No.
So, okay, what about some good destinations for moms who just need a break, like a girls' trip?
Yeah. So I would say somewhere like Sedona, if you want to stay domestic. There's so many good like wellness places you can go just for like a retreat. You can go to wine country in California. Again, all inclusives are always great for a girls' trip. Those are my favorite places. My three, like if I have girls' trips, they almost always do an all inclusive. But I've also had those people that have done, Sedona or like Sonoma.
Yep, I love it.
I actually all inclusive anything.
Well, my first kind of like girls' trip after I had Adelaide, it was just me and my bestie. We went to Sedona. I was pumping still. I still was using the hospital pump. That's how little Adelaide was.
Like, Adelaide was still pink. It didn't matter.
I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. No.
I'm out.
What about just some easy kind of low stress trips that are the opposite of like Disney and Universal where you're go, 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 like kind of a chill.
Yeah. So again, cruises and all inclusives, just because again, you get there and you really don't have to do anything if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go on a tour or an excursion. I mean, if I'm on a cruise ship, to be honest, if we stop in Nassau that day, I am on the ship at the pool because nobody's on the ship, or I'm at the spa. Like that's my day to stay on the ship. But you don't have to do anything. You don't have to cook. You don't have to. You're not running around ragged. I mean, you literally just sit there and let them take care of you on both the cruise ship and the all-inclusive. And then if you're not wanting to leave the country, then maybe look for like a nearby beach or mountain or city that you've never experienced before, because it's just somewhere that's easy to get to.
Yeah. Yeah. We
I will say a big one with Texas people in the fall is Colorado.
Yeah.
People go to Colorado all the time and like right before school, and it's because it's gorgeous there.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous weather. And they don't have to stress about it being like 1,000,000 degrees here.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of great little cities here domestically. But I do remember the first time I went to an all-inclusive, I was like, oh my gosh, why would you vacation anywhere else? Like, it's so great.
I only do all-inclusive because my kids are such picky eaters that I don't want that stress of like, I just spent $20 on a meal for you that you're not eating, and I can't take it. Like, if you don't want to eat it, I don't care. I just want to move on.
Right.
I need that freedom to throw away food.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as much as I love like Disney and Universal, and Universal is on our list to go again at some point, those are the trips though you need a vacation from. Like you get back and you're like, okay, I need like a couple days of like an actual vacation.
Yeah.
Because they're so go, go, go. So I love low stress trips too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely my husband after we travel. He's always like, and now I need 3 days to rest after we travel because it's so much.
Yeah.
But okay, so we talked about, we're going to plan for fall break. Okay, this is like $1 million question. Do people actually save money, or is it more about the time and the stress? Because we saw that they're not going to spend more money.
Mm-hmm.
But will they save money on certain things with you?
It depends. I can't really give a flat answer on that because it just depends on what we're booking. So sometimes I do have access to specific promos that only are available to travel agents. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be showing you the same price that you're seeing. However, with that comes the lack, like you're not going to have the stress of trying to figure everything out. You're not going to have the stress of calling and trying to make any changes that you need to make, or making sure that your rooms are close together or whatever. Like you're not the one that's having to handle all of that stress and that planning part. That's where I come in, and that's where my expertise comes in. And so while I may or may not be saving you dollars, I am saving you time and stress. It takes it especially if you're looking to go somewhere new, just the research alone. Like people will email me and they'll be like, I have 15 tabs open and I'm so overwhelmed and I'm like, yeah, just let me do it. Let me plan it, because
they're like, right now we're
so
sleeping
lost
in
in
our
what-
car, but we're in the state we want to be in, but I have no idea what's happening.
Well,
Yeah.
our Mexico girls trip was a great example. I hadn't been to Mexico since I was in high school. The other two girls hadn't been in decades. And we didn't go to Heather because we were looking for a cheap trip. We were looking for her to just plan a trip because I didn't want to think about it. And, I think maybe we had given you a couple of hotels because we chat GPT'd hotels. But then you came back and were like, no, you won't like this one. Try this one. I recommend this one. And so we certainly didn't do it for the price. We did it for not having to think about it. And, a couple things. Then she came back. She was like, hey, well, transportation's included with the hotel. We were like, no, we would like to book private because we don't want to be with other people. And she was like, oh, okay. So she booked the private transportation for us. And then she was like, would you like champagne in the car? We were like, yes, we would. Right.
Yes,
So like,
what? That's always the yes.
Yeah.
always a yes. But that was the first trip that she had planned for us. And so it was really just so we didn't have to think about it. That was the kind of trip we wanted. I didn't want to have to do, because I get a lot of people, because I travel so much, I get a lot of people asking me questions all the time or helping them with an itinerary. And I love that. It's usually because I've been there, right? And I've experienced it, especially when we lived in an RV for a year. We went to a lot of different places. I love that. I don't want to book it for them. I don't want to plan.
Right. You're like, I don't want to do your work.
No, and I don't even want to do it myself. I have an idea, but I want someone else to take care of it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would agree. I want the idea, and I want like someone that does something that I'm like, did you not realize that this was here? I'm like, no, I didn't realize that was there.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's do some quick fire questions. Heather, most overrated destination.
So I'll probably get in trouble for this, but I have a couple places. So I feel like Myrtle Beach is overrated.
Really?
Everybody, but like Amy was talking about, everybody from the East Coast, that's where they go on vacation. It's just, especially like spring break, beginning of summer, it's so overrated.
I would agree.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just gross to me.
I would agree.
There are so many other beaches you can go to that are not even far from Myrtle Beach that are 10 times better.
I agree. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's just become a tourist trap. Like it's just busy and it's not relaxing. And so that's my number one most overrated places.
That's shocking. I would have never guessed that.
We went there every year growing up because that's where everyone in Ohio goes on vacation, I think. And so when we lived in the RV, we made it one of our stops because it was like, reminiscent. And my parents flew in and they spent the week with us. And all of us were like, ew. Ew. Yeah. Not the Myrtle Beach.
You go to
Not the Myrtle. Yeah, not the Myrtle.
Port A you can either have a fantastic time at Port A and think it's beautiful and lovely, or you can go there and it's super gross.
Well, and I think it's different as an adult than it was as a kid.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to the beach. Like it's fun. But then as an adult, when you go, you're kind of like,
Yeah, I was like, ew, that's not the 1982.
We've brought that up on episodes before, that young enough kids think the beach is the ocean's the same, whether you're in Hawaii or in Port A.
Yeah. So Myrtle Beach is my number one.
Okay, Myrtle Beach is her number one.
And then I would say Paris. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like everybody should visit Paris at least once.
Sure.
Like, seeing the Eiffel Tower in person is phenomenal. Seeing it sparkle at night is just something that we took Josie as a surprise for her 16th birthday.
Yeah.
And one of her friends went with us, and we had the best time while we were there. But we stayed outside of the city. We were probably an hour train ride from the city where we stayed. And I don't think I would have liked it staying in the city. I feel like it's too busy. It's easy to get around, but it's just, I feel like I didn't like the food. I mean, the bread was great.
Yeah.
But, like carrying around a big loaf of bread and eating it was great, but I don't know.
My bread
like
for the day.
Yeah.
It's very touristy too, I think.
It is very
I was going to say, but look at how European you made it with the train ride. Love a good train ride in Europe.
Well, that's one of the best things about Europe is taking the train every.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay.
Yeah. So those are my
most
top
most underrated.
That one is a little harder for me. I'm gonna say Charleston and Savannah, Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, Georgia. People don't think of that a lot of times, but they're on the coast. I mean, they don't have the most gorgeous beaches either, but they're on the coast. The cities are so historic.
Mm-hmm.
They're great for girls' trips. I mean, they're great for girls' trips. They're gorgeous areas.
Good idea.
Yeah. So those are probably my top two underrated. And then if you talk about like all-inclusive areas, Puerto Vallarta and Cabo get, not that they're not popular, but they get overshadowed by Cancun so much because when people think Mexico, they think Cancun if they're thinking about vacation. They're not thinking about going to the west coast.
Right.
And we went to Cabo for our 25th anniversary, and I'm still like, when are we going back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We went to Cabo for our honeymoon. And this will show you how much I don't like planning travel. So that's our honeymoon. You'd think I'd be so excited about fancy trip with my new husband. My girlfriend, one of the girls in my wedding, went on that trip like 6 months prior and got engaged and just said the place was so great. And I was like, cool, I'll just do that. So I just did her engagement trip as my honeymoon. And it was great. I
liked it.
But I was like, yeah, I'll just take that. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, when we were talking earlier about places for moms who just need a break, I was thinking in my head, Savannah. It's a fun little
yeah.
city. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So what is one travel mistake everyone makes?
Yeah. So
wrong city.
There's a couple, but one for me is not creating enough or not allowing enough buffer time in your schedule, whether that's not allowing a long enough layover. Like if you've got a 45-minute layover, even if it's a domestic flight, you're not flying internationally. If you've got a 45-minute layover, if that first flight takes off even 20 minutes late,
oh yeah,
you're not making that second flight.
Yeah.
By the time you land and get there, like you might, if you can fly, you might make it to that next gate, or if the gate's next door, you might make it, but not allowing enough time during the day, like scheduling 6 or 7 things during the day.
Yeah.
And not thinking about how long it's going to take to get from one to the other. Just not, when they're putting your schedule together, not allowing enough buffer in there, and not planning for traffic or delays or whatever might happen.
Yeah. Or even just downtime.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would 100% agree with that, because even like, it does not stress me out to hang out in the airport. Some people it does, but I grew up flying standby, so I can hang out in the airport all day. It wouldn't bother me. But like my husband doesn't like that when we travel, so he tries to get it as close as possible. And I was like, no, at least an hour and a half. Nope.
Yeah.
I need time to stop at that weird Mexican restaurant, have margarita.
Yeah.
Then get on the plane.
Yeah.
All right, last one. One thing every mom should know before a trip.
Yeah. So for moms, I would, especially if you have, well, I don't even want to say if you have littles, but if you have teenagers, they can kind of do this on their own. But if you have younger kids, pack a small carry-on or backpack or whatever, and just have things in there like snacks, phone charger, a blanket, like their favorite blanket or stuffy, or if you're afraid of taking their favorite one because it might get lost, another one that they really like.
Yeah.
Change of clothes for them and for you, medicines that you might need, refillable water bottles. Just put all of that in a backpack, because you never know what's going to happen between the time you leave the house and the time you get to where you're going. And you want to be prepared, and you want to kind of stop meltdowns before they happen.
Yep.
So I think having that, like what I like to call like an emergency travel bag, ready to go is huge.
I love that.
Oh, go ahead, Amy.
No, go ahead.
I think so many people do love the glamour of just getting on and off the plane. I remember doing that like maybe a handful of times in my life, of like not having a bag. But since we flew standby, we always had a pair of pajamas, a change of clothes, and a swimsuit.
Yep.
Those three things were always in our bag. And then this is back in the day. So our toiletries and stuff like that you could carry on, which now, you'd have to make them smaller.
Yep.
But that was always a thing. And it was just a small bag. And that was and it was enough that you could survive for a day.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I will say you had mentioned it, but I just want to reiterate to all the bronze medal moms of teenagers out there. So Adelaide took her first flight at 3 months old, and she's been flying ever since. So I would always pack an extra change of clothes for her and an extra shirt for me because I was afraid of spit up or a blowout. But then I quit doing that when she started packing her own carry-on. And guess what happened on our trip to London? We about 6 hours into the flight, she spills something on her shirt, and I'm like, well, you're gonna be wearing that for the rest of the day until
that's gonna get uncomfortable.
Yeah,
right. But I was like, oh, why did I ever stop? Now, even though she packs her own bag, she can pack her own, like an extra shirt or an extra pair of leggings. So
it's like the mom rule that it doesn't matter how old your kids are or really what is happening in your what stage in life you're in. Once you have baby wipes available, always need to have baby wipes available.
Yeah. We know the other
teenagers, adults.
Yeah. The other thing a travel agent can certainly help with, and correct me if I'm wrong, Heather, is letting people know what to expect in different places.
Good call.
Especially at the airport. We had an incident. So I know, just because I travel so often, the rules in the United States TSA for flying out to, say, Mexico or Jamaica are not the same when you're in Jamaica or Mexico and you want to fly back, right? There are things that I may be able to carry on to Mexico that they're not going to let me carry on back to the States. And so when we were in Jamaica, flying back, we went through the Ocho Rios airport for the first time. Teeny tiny. They're literally so great. They were like hand checking our little carry-on, everything in it. Well, there was a woman who got pulled because she had powders that were over 3 ounces, including a giant bag of coffee, and her husband had a Leatherman tool. Well, they confiscated both of those, and she threw a fit. She was so mad at those poor Jamaican security agents, and I thought, that's on you for not knowing the rules. But that's something a travel agent could have given you a heads up about.
And think about how much that could ruin your trip.
Oh, she was mad. She was,
one, the stress level of your trip, but like, what if there was some like tool that he had to have?
Well, so he actually, because I heard them yelling. I was
like, next story continues, don't
Right. It was his dad's army knife.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, that goes in your checked bag.
Right. Exactly.
That easy. Like,
right.
Yeah. Did he go put it in his checked bag?
No, it was too late. They'd already. Now, I'm assuming they were awful to these Jamaicans. Had they been nice, the airport.
Ding, ding.
The airport is so little. I'm 99.9% sure one of those Jamaican security people would have literally gone out. There's only one flight a day out of that airport. They would have gone and put it on his bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were awful to them. So,
yeah.
I will say both my parents, like I said, worked in the airline industry. My mom retired, but my dad worked there for quite some time. And I remember my dad always wore this pinky ring, which tells you about my dad. And I loved this pinky ring. I thought it was so cool. It was our birthstone. And I got the pinky ring when he decided to stop wearing it. And I was like, oh, Dad, this is so exciting. I love this pinky ring. I was like, tell me the story about this. Like, where did you get this? He was like, oh, it was in the lost and found at the airport. I was like, what? He's like, that's real nice though, huh? I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Well,
somebody out there just got a really nice pocket knife.
What I was going to say, Amy, like what you were saying, that is what we do. Like, we make sure you're prepared. And I mean, you can speak to this. Like, when you guys went to Mexico, how many emails did I send you?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was just, and I try not to bombard your inbox, but there's information that you need. And I don't want to send it all at once because it's like drinking from a fire hose, basically. So I just time them, and then you'll get emails about your trip that just give you tips or, packing ideas or whatever.
Yeah, and it was good practical stuff. The one I remember specifically, she has a map of the Cancun airport. And it's like, you will land here, you need to go here. Ignore all of these vendors that are going to be super pushy. Do not make eye contact with all of these people trying to get you in their
Look
car.
down, walk forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was very, and I'm like, oh, because I like to know when I travel, especially because I'm typically traveling alone very often. Even for a girls' trip, like we're all meeting there. We're not traveling together.
Right.
I like to know what to expect. So yeah, super helpful. So
Well, it's true. They also, like, even if you're, planning out a trip and you're like, oh, but I'm in charge of my ride to and from the hotel. Like, you're gonna have all those people asking you, you're like, you're gonna take one of them, and that might be a terrible idea.
yeah. Yeah. Well, and you had mentioned it, but I have to say it to our listeners because I actually had it in my show notes. Amanda can attest to it. I was like, bronze medal moms, listen up, listeners. Do not ask a travel agent to price out your trip or plan an itinerary just because then you're going to go book it yourself, because that's a dick move. Like,
Well, because like we learned, it doesn't.
Yeah.
All it does is take money away from them. You're not paying any more.
Right. Like,
And there actually was a news station last week that did a story about travel. And I actually posted about this on Facebook, but they did a news story about travel, and that's what they said. They said, talk to a travel agent, get some ideas, and then go book yourself.
oh my gosh, no, do not do that.
I made a big, long Facebook post about it, and I was like, let's clear this up. Like,
yes. That's
like,
awful.
Yeah.
And I also don't like because I admin a couple of Jamaica vacation groups on Facebook, and I see it so often, and we don't like when people just use travel agents against each other just to like price match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, can you price this out for me? Because really what I want to do is take it back to this person and tell them you can get it from cheaper, but I'm going to don't do that either. Like,
right.
These are
okay,
people's
if you're
lives.
doing that, you need to get a hobby. That's a lot of time.
That is their hobby.
I wish I had that kind of time.
But these are people's jobs.
Time to do something else. Take up a craft.
Yeah, but they're people's jobs and careers they're messing with. So just use the travel agent. So Heather, where can our listeners find you if they want help planning their next trip?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook. You can just look up my name, Heather Honaker.
Okay.
And I should come up. I also have a Facebook group that you can join. I used to have like a business page, but I decided to create a group instead. And it's the group is titled All the Places We Can Go.
Oh.
So I post on there. I don't post on there quite as much as I do on my personal page, but I post in both. You can find me there.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram, or you can email me. I mean,
okay.
So.
We'll make sure to put all of that in the show notes of the episode so our listeners can find it, and you're just a click away. Tell me though, because like I said, she either loves me or hates me when I toss out. I mean, we tossed out, hey, 6 of us want to go to Iceland. She's like, okay. I'm like, yep, there you go. we've got a couple geologists that may want to see some rocks. I got a couple scuba divers that may want to dive. But so tell us though, do you have an ideal client?
I don't. I honestly don't. I love every single type of trip that comes to me. It doesn't matter if you're wanting to just go to a city 2 hours away for the weekend just because you need a break from home, or if you want to plan this incredible tour of Italy. Like, I don't care what it is that you're trying to travel or trying to plan. Mm-hmm. I love booking every single trip. I love taking care of my clients. I try to treat It's funny that I say this, but I try to treat each client's trip like it's my own. But then again, I'm my own worst travel agent, because when it comes to booking my own travel, I just kind of like push it to the side. And then I'm like, oh, wait, we've got this trip coming up. I need to work on that.
Right.
But if I'm working on your trip, I try to treat it like it's my own, meaning that, like, if it's not something that, like, if I wouldn't be comfortable booking that, then I'm not going to book it for you. Like, if I'm not comfortable with that specific resort and the way they treat their guests, I'm not even going to offer it.
Yeah.
So really any client, like, I love booking families, multi-gen families. Like, I love booking that. I love booking honeymoons. I mean, like, I just love booking literally anybody.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Heather.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yay! And if you love this episode, and we know our listeners did, make sure you follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review so more moms can find us.
And don't forget to share with your friends and leave those ratings and let us know if you have anything we can else talk about.
Yeah. And definitely share this episode with your friends who you know have not planned their summer travel and they are scrambling right now. So they need to listen to this episode and then reach out to Heather. So see you next time, Bronze Medal Moms.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to our moms on Bronze Medal Moms. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. See you soon.
Hair up high, coffee in my hand, baby on my hip, still making a stand. Oh yeah. Burnt toast breakfast, cartoons way too loud, mascara smudge, but I'm still proud. Carpool chaos, homework on the floor, I'm tying tiny shoes like I'm heading on tour. Sometimes I'm raging in the minivan line, sometimes I'm crying in the bathroom fine, but I lace up my heart like leather and chrome. Every crazy day I bring it home. I'm momming like a rock star, doing dishes like a dive bar. Yeah, the crowd is 3, but they scream for me. Whoa. I'm momming like a rock star, perfect mess in a big heart. Give it all I've got, even when I'm falling apart. I'm momming like a rock star. Laundry mountain staring me down, glitter in my hair like a rhinestone crown. Science fair meltdown, costumes all wrong, so we hot glue glory and we sing our song. Sometimes I'm praying at the kitchen sink, sometimes it's cereal and frozen drinks, but I show up on time for every small show. Every tiny win is all I wanna know. I'm momming like a rock star, doing dishes like a dive bar. Yeah, the crowd is 3, but they scream for me. Whoa. I'm momming like a rock star, perfect mess and a big heart. Give it all I've got, even when I'm falling apart. I'm momming like a rock star. Raise your bottles, raise your bras. Every time, mama, you're a backstage star. We got spit up stains, we got battle scars, but we tuck them in like we tune our guitars. Oh, we're momming like a rock star, doing dishes like a dive bar. Yeah, the crowd is 3, but they scream for me. Scream for me. We're momming like a rock star, perfect mess in a big heart. Give it all we've got, even when we're falling apart. We're momming like a rock star. Hair up high, hands in the air, trying our best, yeah.